we call it three dads in a batch.
Three dads and a what?
About that time to
I thought he was talking about ice cream.
Back
What?
to this.
What?
What? Yeah,
So
that made
what-
no sense.
Boom, boom, boom.
You like that?
So really quickly, first of all, is 205 a shoot weight? Because you're a thick ass 205.
Now I'm waking him up. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Don't worry that you're being recorded. Oh. Oh.
Oh,
That's a good question, actually.
this is three dads in a batch.
He's just going, and we're like, he would run a whole fucking like 2 minute spot with a guy, and we're just like, yo, you got one more in you. Like,
Yeah, but
And
you
he'd
want to
have-
know what? Those days of wrestling are over. Like those like generational days.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah.
you look, I mean, if you come to think of it, right? Like you don't see the older brawlers like running in the ring anymore.
Oh no, and that's what I was gonna talk about. Like before we were recording, like I wanted to bring up, like it's not so much.
Segue. Let's call it segue.
It was great, Thrasher. That's why
I'd
we're
say that's
professional.
it. I was gonna say, is that the segue to fucking intro of the pod? We have an intro of the pod.
Well, this is like we don't know what this is. Our host
This
is not
is-
our valiant host is not
Right.
here. We're lost.
This could be one of those lost episodes.
This
could
is a
be.
lost
There's
episode.
not 8 or 9
This
of
is
them.
this is I don't know what to call this. What we call ourselves? We have to come up with a duo name. Thrasher. Are we the Hero Boys or we the Indie Darlings?
We're indie darlings. We're indie darlings.
We're the Indie Darlings.
I like Indie Darlings because it also sounds like an indie band name too. So I'm into
Indie Darlings.
it.
And Mighty Mike.
I mean,
Uh,
so what are we
Mighty
talking
Mike
about
and the
tonight?
Indie Darlings. I love
That sounds like a 70s disco band.
it. Well, it sounds like they opened for Casey and the Sunshine Band back in the day.
Yeah, on New Year's Eve down in the Miami Beach at Bicentennial Park.
Yeah, the,
Only on
the-
Miami Beach. It was just a one-time thing. We did.
the
We didn't
OG
tour.
Miami Arena. Fucking, but no, but that's what I was thinking about today. Is like, not that I want the Attitude Era back. It was more so that I was thinking like, it's a lot of occupational characters, which happens when. But like, my thought of it is that there just came a time in the past, like, I feel like 10 years may be a little much. I feel like it's later, like 2015 and after, that a lot of guys came up in the biz and on TV that just kind of all looked fucking similar, which I used to bitch about all the time. So I feel like it's a they do occupational angles a little bit because Vince just said fuck it and that's what he wants to do, but also because like I feel like they didn't know what else to do with these guys. They have 5 guys standing next to each other, all 5'7", all blonde with fucking short hair and beards, and like, what are you gonna do with that? Like,
Are you gonna tell me that you don't think Sean Stasiak, Charlie Haas, and Rene Dupree are different people?
Are
no,
you saying
but that
all
was
white
like
people
that
look
was like
alike?
that was like 3% of the roster back in the day.
And Joe laughs when I tell him I stopped watching WWE from 2006 to about 2011 because of the fact that it was all the same people. Like it was literally the same people wrestling. That's why I fell in love with TNA because TNA had like diverse, I mean, really, really good matches. Like, and also on like matches on FS1 where you had like Monty Brown versus like some jobber, you
The
know.
pounds.
Yeah.
Monty Brown, very underrated. Very
Hell
underrated.
yeah, very underrated. Consequences Creed, if you might have heard of that man.
Yeah,
He-
James Creed.
I was a big Ron Killings guy for a long time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
Val
I don't
Kilmer
know.
Mafia. Val Kilmer Mafia.
Val Kilmer.
Dude, the Val Kilmer Mafia is definitely my favorite. I also liked I like the main event Mafia too. But I like all their
Fortune?
Mafia renditions.
Fortune?
But,
Big.
but they had see, like every company that has something to prove though gets that solid 5 years. Because in '06, I went back to watching after like I stopped in like '03 or something. But I went back to watching in '06 because of the DX angle, because I'm a mark. But then me and my brother would try to watch TV and we just couldn't make it through like 45 minutes without absolutely like doing like a Mystery Science Theater and not paying attention. So we just watched the pay-per-views and that was it. Like,
I mean, look at how stupid it was.
feel like-
You had Britney Spears' husband on there. as a host.
I was at
on-
that show. Were you
I
guys?
would actually went to that show. Yes, I went to that
I was
show. I
at
was
that
a
show.
young child. I was sitting up in the nosebleed because I'm poor, and I watched K-Fed get fucking abused by John Cena
But
in a
and I
big ass
think
white T-shirt in
and
a
I
triple. I think it was a triple XL. You know,
it looked
what
like
was
it
that,
'cause it was down to his
2005,
ankles.
2002?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Big
for
old white
sure.
tee.
And his shorts were down to his ankles too. You guys remember jorts that were actually jeans?
Yes.
He had that Dem Franchise Boys white tee that they had in that.
Yeah,
music
no,
video.
for sure. That was my favorite song for a while.
And I
That was a
think
great song.
I think the problem that they had like during that time frame is they had those guests like hosts for Raw because let's say you brought Hugh Jackman in, right? Let's say you paid for Hugh Jackman or he's there to sponsor something or advertise a movie that he's in. Okay, you got to give him his TV time to advertise for that movie, right? So he's
Right, yeah,
probably
give him
allotted
$1,000.
he's probably allotted 45 minutes of TV time where he's either advertising the movie or he's on TV, you know, his face is on TV.
And they had to like. I hated when they would link shit in the
Mhm.
wrestling match to the fucking movie. Like I can't think of what it was for him or any of the other celebrities.
It
I
was
remember
Real
the
Steel. Real
KFC
Steel.
time.
Yeah, real still. I was about to say, what was the Rock'em Sock'em Robot type movie?
It was Real Steel.
It was that one. Yeah, it was real still. Shout out to Hugh Jackman. We love you.
One of my favorite hosts that I can remember actually enjoying the episode was Shaq. Shaq had a great episode.
Well, Shaq actually kind of at least acted like he gave a fuck about wrestling, as we saw in later years.
But
But,
I think it goes to what Chris was saying, like he didn't have to plug anything. He's just Shaq. So they were like,
Yeah, he's just Shaq. He's just himself.
Yeah, but on the
So it was
adverse
just like-
effect, on the adverse side, you had the Jackass Boys. They were promoting their movie, and
yeah.
Steve-O almost fucking died in the ring. Umaga almost
Well,
killed
Well, sell for him, Daddy. That's
him.
Was that after Steve-O was sober? Because he almost
No.
died a lot of times.
No,
so-
he wasn't sober, and
he wasn't sober at that time.
he took a power slam from Umaga, and he didn't.
And he
sell
almost
it.
hit his head. I
He
remember
didn't
that.
sell
No,
it. Yeah,
he didn't
he,
sell
like,
it. He
popped
popped
up.
up, and
Oh,
Umaga just beat the shit out of him. He beat the piss out of him.
dude, but like somebody should have smartened him up to that. Umaga did the right thing. What is he gonna do?
Fucking sell for me, Daddy.
Yeah.
He slammed him down so much that you could see the concussion in his eyes. Like that,
Yeah.
he was
You
out.
can see it happening in real time. Oh shit.
See the CTE. Good for Steve-O. He's sober now. Good-
It's like
good-
the Kevin Costner where the remake of JFK shooting. You're like, as soon if you slow the video down, you can see it's down and to the left is where the concussion starts. Down and to the left.
back into the left. Yeah, Steve-O's is.
I
down
am
until-
seeing something. I mean, I don't want to interrupt. Just to kind of go back to your point about occupational, like not necessarily occupational gimmicks, because I don't really say that that's a thing so much, but I do see the whole idea of them wanting to give everybody like a nickname, but it's making the nickname a part of their name, which I feel like is weird. And
Do you
I
think
feel
that do you think that that's a fallout of like video game era? Because like that's a thing with creator wrestling. That's like what like because it's so weird. That's part of the reason that I find it so fascinating. It's because it isn't all occupational like it was in the 90s. It's like a little bit occupational, a little bit cartoony, gimmicky,
some of it is
a
just
little
like
splash of racism with the mafia fucking Jake
Mhm.
Tucker thing, right?
No, for
So,
sure.
like,
There's a little bit of overt, like, hey, we don't have to say this. But what is it? What is
But you
like
know.
Bronson Reed shit is like big. Bronson Reed is like, no, we see that. We can see that
we get that
we
he's a
can
big
see that
motherfucker.
he's a large man. Like we
Well-
don't have to put big in his name to make him bigger. Like
What
it doesn't
what happens if
but
this
I'm
is the
just-
attitude era? This is this generation's attitude.
It's terrible. What do you mean? I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Here,
I
no,
mean-
because hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Back in the 90s, you had what was the Disciples of Apocalypse?
Ugh.
Mhm.
You had what
Wait,
was
those were the closet Nazis, right? The SS
Yes.
tattoos on their fucking
Yes.
arm.
yes.
I just want to make that be known
that part
for
wasn't
whoever-
closeted at all. They
No,
were
it wasn't
definitely
closet. It was
known
on
about
the. It was there. You had Los Boricuas.
You're
Okay.
talking about Gang Wars era.
Gang,
Right.
yeah.
Now, fast forward, right? Now we're in the politically correct era of the Attitude Era. So now it's mirror image, right? You had the Nation of Domination in the 90s. You have the Hurt Locker now. You had Los
The Hurt
Boricuas.
Locker. That
not
is
the
a
Hurt-
movie.
Not the Hurt Locker. What did the Hurt? What is it? Whatever they are.
Hurt
fucking
Business.
Hurt Business.
Fucking Jeremy Renner. Your ad can go right here.
That's a great fucking movie, by the way.
But-
Just
Hurt
side
Locker
note.
was pretty solid.
But you have Los Boricuas and Jake Tucker's. So it's almost like this is just a politically correct version of the Attitude Era. It's going off of what you're saying about occupational like gimmicks and like cartoony gimmicks and
Yeah.
everything like that. It's this modern day's Attitude.
It's equal parts. I definitely see that. It's equal parts. That's kind of why I wanted to have this conversation. Like, make me view it because for me,
It's
super
recycling the
big-
storylines. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's recycling.
Well, they always
it's,
do
I
that.
do-
I feel like they've always.
it's like
done that.
UFC. UFC recycles fighters, and it's the same fights over and over again. It's
And then
all
they kiss
WWE.
each
I
other
do
when
see
they're weighing
that.
in and shit, and then they do the thing.
I can definitely identify with what you guys are saying as far as like they're trying to kind of create a new attitude here. Just paying attention to something that I just really like. I've been paying attention to it, but I'm like, because I'm watching NXT right now, fans. Whoever's watching, we're watching NXT.
I will be watching.
It's
later.
on mute.
It's on
Actually,
mute.
yeah, it's on mute.
You
No,
just have it
Trick
full
Williams.
blast, so the screen just stays on you.
Yeah, no. The Trick Williams match was actually pretty good. I think it did everything that it was supposed to do for him. It was a fun match to watch. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Dude, but that's why I started watching NXT because it is fun to watch, like legit. Like it sounds.
Yeah,
stupid.
no. That was like not all of it is not all of it's quality. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it I'm like watching, I'm like, ooh. That's kind of what I was saying. I don't want to shit on Trick Williams because he's, I understand he's coming from a different world and shit like that. But that's like the
I
whole
love
match. I
everything
was kind of
Triple H
watching.
does.
I was
Best
watching certain
tag team.
spots and I was just like, sell for him, Daddy. Come on.
The best tag team in wrestling right now. It's fun to watch. Is Leo Rush and Trey Miguel.
They are fun to watch.
Are they
Yeah.
tagging right now?
They're tagging right now. Yeah.
Leo Rush is tagging with Trey Miguel. Interesting. I have to tune into Impact. But
So
no.
what happened was that because Trey Miguel cost he helped Leo Rush win
get the X.
get the
X.
X. Yes, get the X, and now he gets pick whoever he wants to wrestle. And someone stepped on Mike Bailey's toes, and so now it's a big like clusterfuck. But TNA Impact is really really good. I think you guys are
It's
big
getting
on
better.
on NXT. I'm big on Impact. I think Impact has more promise than NXT.
But see, that's all newfound shit. Like I'm coming out of my little bubble that I always come out of, like, because normally when I come out of my bubble, it's just like I'll watch the next like 6 WWE pay-per-views just to know the storyline and watch the pay-per-view matches. But like now I watch that Great American Bash show, so like I want to try to get back into weekly. I don't watch enough of Impact, but do you feel like
I don't watch
and
enough Impact
interesting
weekly
point?
I like
because,
trying to keep up, but
what with Impact?
I'm
It's
weekly.
harder because like you have to go search it, right? Like
You have to go find it.
I do want to get Impact Plus because I do want to
I
watch.
would say
it.
their Impact Plus is like $3 or something like
It's
that.
super cheap. Honestly, I don't know how many screens you can have, but like if we literally want to chip in each $1 a
Right? We
month,
all just chip in like 75 cents a piece. We can all watch Impact and keep
Yeah,
up.
it sounds like we're
Just
sponsoring an orphan kid in Africa here. Like
We just fucking
or
we just fucking
we could
we just
bundle it.
coordinate days. I don't know how many screens we have to have, but if we coordinate days, like, hey, I'm gonna watch it on Tuesdays.
We could do that
Like,
too. That actually works.
We can
'Cause,
all
like,
catch up.
Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm usually just passing out after work, so that actually kind of works for me. If we wanted to do like a little fucking divorced parents fucking schedule, but
the 75
Or we
cents of child support.
we could we could
That's
also
hilarious.
bundle it. We could also bundle it and just do split three-ways New Japan streaming service, which I love.
I think that would be a good idea too, though, because I want to get New Japan World.
Do you want to know who would
Japan
excel
World's
from
great.
that? Excel from that? It would be Joe. Joe needs to
Joe,
watch
he's
more
so
New
uninformed
Japan.
with New Japan.
Yeah.
You
He doesn't know what the fuck is
but see,
going
that's
on.
the thing. I feel like Joe, if you're listening, Joe, because you will, because I'll post this, you should watch New Japan because all the shit that you hate about American wrestling, they just fucking do in New Japan. Like it's very much more intense. It's very much fucking. That's why I have always loved New Japan. The
It
reason
looks-
I
it
like
looks
wrestling
real.
really little kid why Terry Funk is my favorite wrestler. Is because I didn't like gimmicks. I was like a sports kid, and I saw just a bunch of dudes punch what I thought was punching each other in the face and like going hard, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But then like you had like the creative aspect. So like I'm also like a creative person. So like it was like the meshing of two both worlds. That's why I fucking love New Japan, because it's just they treat it like a sport. They fucking treat their writing, the way the guys present themselves is way more less cartoony, less all that shit. And I get it's a different culture, but like I just like it better.
You want to know what I love about New Japan? There's two things. Number one, it looks real. They
Mhm.
put effort into
Well,
that.
to be fair, they're stiff as a motherfucker. Yeah.
I mean, they put effort in to make
They
it to
came
being
for stiff,
stiff.
brother.
And they put
And
an
rings are
effort in.
stiff.
They put an effort into being stiff but being safe. Number two, the fans do not dictate the match. They are quiet during the matches because it is an art. So it's not a fan just saying
They're doing
boo.
golf clap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's
Very
after the
golf
match. It's after the match is when they embrace, and cheer and everything.
You know what's funny?
Yeah,
during
like they
the-
let the I'm sorry.
no,
They
you're
let
good.
the spots like happen, and then they will applaud after the spot is fully finished. They won't like fucking like cut a guy, like if a guy fucks up or some shit like that, they won't cut him off, like cut his legs out from under him before they can get to the fucking desired spot.
Let 'em
They will
build it up.
fucking let the spot, yeah, they let the spot fucking mature and let it happen. And then when you get to the desired result, then you get to the fucking the golf clap type shit.
Even on
I
promos.
think-
Promos are the same way. Whether you're a
Yeah.
good guy, bad guy, you're a manager, you're
Yeah,
the owner of
nobody's
the
like
company.
chanting and
No
shit.
one's
They're
chanting. They let them speak
I
fully
think
through.
I think New Japan is a great, like, and I don't want to like belittle it or anything like that, but I do think New Japan is like the best representation of what we love about the indies with a higher production value.
yeah,
Is the best way to put what New Japan is.
because you know the guys aren't being fucking like made to do like you can expect something different from each fucking match, and they're so good on psychology because they hone that shit in. And to your point, I was gonna say they fucking I forget which one of you guys just said it because I've been ripping this pen pretty hard, but Cookies, if you want to sponsor, this is your in-house stuff. Let me know. Hit me
This is your opportunity.
But
Right
fucking
here, your ad would go right here.
but fucking I think like goddamn, see, in the spirit of that, I just forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Oh, the old guys, the fucking like I think it's a pet peeve of mine because I've trained before and like I'm obviously not like as active as an indie person or whatever, but I've had fucking matches and like I mean Noah trained and Noah is way more of a worker than I am. But either way, we've been in there with like different instructors and going to fucking seminars and being around different like old school guys that will tell you that they're the end all be all when it comes to teaching you shit. But like you watch a match, you watch a match and the older these guys get, they're powdering their fucking thing. They're going through the motions so they can get in place to do something. Old fucking Japanese wrestlers don't fucking do that shit. If anything, they get fucking stiffer and they just fucking stand in. Like fucking
Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro.
I literally was about to mention him and the other guy, the dude that comes
Minoru Suzuki.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Well, Minoru Suzuki is
I'll
actually
refer to
an
New
axe
Japan Hardy
murderer.
Both those
He's-
guys.
Yeah, Suzuki is actually a born assassin. Like he actually
He's
killed
an
people in
actual
Japan.
like axe murderer that just happened to be good at pro wrestling.
He's method. He takes his gimmicks seriously.
That's the best way to put it. He's method. He's fucking. He takes the shit fucking extremely
and
serious.
Japanese people love wrestling so much that they just let it happen. They'd be like, "I'm getting murdered by." They pop for that, but like, no, dude, that literally was the two examples I was gonna fucking use. It's like, if anything, those guys just don't do things that they know is gonna make them look like shit, and they get crisper and they get stiffer, and it looks even fucking realer. Where here you get like what I'm saying, this fucking floater clothesline, just get me there, daddy, payday.
Well,
like,
they master their crafts. If
Well,
they
a
know
great
they're good
man.
at, if they know they're being good at being stiff, if they know they're good at chopping or brawling
Yeah.
or something like that, they master that craft.
Well,
so that
Yeah.
it's that, but I also mean like some guys do it like that had moves.
You're
back
talking about
when
the
they
filler
can't
spots.
physically pull off
Yes.
anymore.
I feel like is what when Chris was talking about he's very much talking about like the filler spots where it's like, I know I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna do this because this is gonna get us to the next spot type thing.
Chops,
A great
chops,
man
elbows,
once,
chops, elbows, chops, elbows.
yeah, a great man once said they came for stiff. That great man was Sammy Callahan. Shout out to Sammy Callahan. Hopefully we can cross paths one day.
Great wrestler.
yeah, no,
always
they-
a bird in every company. He's always a bird. I don't know why.
Some kind of bird. I don't know.
Solomon Crow. He was always
Crow.
Solomon Crow. In
He's
Lucha
the-
Underground, he was another bird.
He's the
He
D
was
Reynolds of professional wrestling.
what was it? I think he was another
Crane.
crow.
Solomon
Lucha
Crane. He
Underground.
was Solomon Crane. Solomon
Oh,
Crane.
Crane. Oh, another bird.
Crane,
Yeah.
he was the Crane.
Longer bird. Pause.
Solomon Crane sounds like a great law firm.
I
Solomon
do
Crane,
think
you're
Solomon and Crane. Yeah, that would be. They get you
Solomon
the fuck
Crane
off.
sounds like an axe murderer. What are you talking about?
No, Solomon Crane as a name, but
you
Solomon
gotta put the
and
you gotta put the
Crane.
ampersand. Yeah, you gotta put the
Yeah, you got to
ampersand.
put the ampersand in there. If you
So-
get Solomon and Crane, they sound like they get you out of any traffic jam that you might
Solomon-
be in.
Solomon
in the
Crane.
Great Miami area.
Solomon Crane sounds like two people, either an axe murderer or a really good chess player.
Yes.
That's solid.
Like an
that's
assassin
pretty
of the
solid.
chess world, you know? Yeah, I love it.
Fans, this episode is called Ramble Roses. I don't know if you guys
I
are
love
familiar with
rambling.
Rumble Roses, but it was an old all-female wrestling game from fucking 2004, maybe some shit like that. I don't know. It was on PS2. I didn't have the game, but I thought about it. I thought about getting it in my younger days. But no, the point I was gonna make about the whole occupational attitude era thing, because clearly we have no structure here, fans, but if you're hanging in there, we love you. Just the fact that something that I've been like silently paying attention to is everybody is getting their own fucking nameplate type of thing on their entrance. Like, and I'm watching NXT right now, and I'm
Custom
seeing
one.
there was like 5 girls in one segment, and all of them had their own individual. It wasn't just like an NXT and then shows their name like how it used to be on like Raw, where it was like fucking Colin Delaney or fucking, what was the other fucking guy, the college guy, Chad.
Colin
Chad,
Delaney. It's great.
Chad
Great
Pennington,
call out.
something like that.
Great call out by
Um,
Colin Delaney, by the way. Great fuck.
That was a tie-in to our Impact conversation.
Yeah.
Shout out to the graphic designers and people that work in the booth at NXT shows and all that shit with all those fucking, instead of just having one goddamn set of fucking lower thirds, you have
Yes.
probably 8 people over your shoulder saying,
And I
"Why does
watched
that look
and
like that? What
fucking
is that?" And
so
So
Blair
shout out to-
Davenport had her own, but shout out to B Priestley because she deserves her own shit. But like Blair Davenport had her own, and fucking Gigi Dolan had her own, and Tiffany Stratton had her own, and fucking Roxanne Perez had her own. Not saying that they don't deserve those, but like they're trying to like create these individual brands within the brand that is NXT and within the brand
Yeah.
that is within WWE. So like,
Which is crazy that they're the company doing that. I feel like out of anything, AEW and Impact would try to do that for like social and like to make it, to give the workers more branding because they need it, as opposed to the people on WWE television that are just branded and shoved down people's throats no matter what programming they have. But like along those same lines, I hate those giant fake gimmick graphics
Oh,
that go along with people's fucking characters in the entrance in the main roster.
the 3D little
I
graphic,
Yeah.
absolutely
the big
despise
bronze
that
Roman.
shit.
You're not a fan of the big bronze Roman?
I'm not a fan of any of that shit. The giant fucking snake, the fucking other gimmicky bullshit. Like, why?
going back to your topic about the templates, did you see Cora Jade got 2 new templates?
Cora J got 2 new templates. No, I did see her
So what does that even
Yes.
mean?
in
Why
a
does she have
bikini
two-
on my Instagram.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Her 2 new templates that she got.
Oh,
Those are new
the
templates.
2 new templates. Oh,
Yeah, the templates. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I saw those. No, I double tapped those actually.
Oh, I see. You're. Oh, I was like, why did she get? I was being too.
Oh no,
Look at
she,
Mike. Mike
Yeah.
was about to be like, "Oh, you're talking about her
was like-
breast. That's what you're talking about."
It's
Okay,
like, why
cool,
would they
right.
give her two? That seems so complicated.
Yeah, no,
They-
I did see that, and I was like, I feel like that wasn't there before.
it was
But
not. It was not.
I probably shouldn't be talking about this as a worker trying to get signed somewhere.
Once we're done with it,
Love you, Corey. You're doing great work.
I'm gonna
WWE, please
check
stay.
them, double tap them, some bitches.
So now I know we don't talk about modern day stuff or anything, but there's one topic that I want to talk about. And it just happened recently. Okay.
Is it Glock Wielder?
No, that not yet. I'm not talking about that yet.
Armed
Right.
Anderson.
I want to touch on Edge.
Okay.
I read something, and I'm not the only one that read this because this our counterpart that is not here tonight read the same thing.
Shout out to Joe. We love you.
Edge's contract is up. He did say he's retiring, but his contract is up. I read, what happens if he makes an appearance at All Out? And he cost Christian the TNT title. And then his true last match would be at All In the next week against Christian. That's his swan song. They go out together.
I wouldn't put
I
it.
honestly
That seems like-
don't see an. So I've been hearing a lot about this whole like idea for like these 6 particular guys who have been like inherently tied to each other to all go out at the same time, which I won't. I'm not gonna list them all, but
Christian,
I think
Edge,
we all-
Jeff, Matt, Jericho.
no, not Jericho.
So then who's the other two then?
Christian, Edge, Jeff, Matt, Devon, and Big Bubba.
I was gonna say
Devon. Well, Devon can't wrestle anymore.
He's about to have a match. I thought.
I thought he was putting on a match, but the doctors told him after his last neck surgery he can't wrestle, or he'll be
Oh,
paralyzed.
I'm not too sure, but I feel like there was this. I've been hearing a lot about this whole idea that all 6 of these guys go out like officially together, which I'm not against. Speaking more specifically in terms of Edge, I don't see a world where he goes out without having some kind of connection to Christian, honestly.
Oh yeah.
But
No, that's all pretty plausible. Because normally, like the jumping stories that people start on the internet of WWE, like big WWE guys going to AEW, is always like really like it's just such a stretch to see like why they would make that decision. But that's probably
Well-
the only one I've heard that makes the most sense.
Well, here's
Yeah.
also too. You also have to. It's even more plausible is you have All Out this weekend, right on August 27th. Literally, the next week is All In Chicago. I think this is the only way you can get it to go is you get really good heat for a farewell show, a farewell match, have him cost him the match, then also have him go out in a one-on-one match.
And then they get a real match out of it, yeah. But then he's got to come
but
back.
the only thing is,
for the TLC fucking final TLC fucking match at WrestleMania 17 2.
17 X2.
Redo.
But no, I feel like, I feel like if they were to do that, it has to be like a TLC match with all these fucking old guys who probably can't take the bumps that they once could take.
And Jeff will be the old, just not even.
Jeff will be the only one. He's gonna fucking go. Jeff is like, no, I'm gonna do the fucking leapfrog leg drop.
I'm gonna
Because
do all.
why the fuck not?
It's not
Um,
Jeff. It's Willow. Willow's gonna do it. It's not Jeff.
Oh,
for sure.
Well, I'll take
Whoever
that.
the fuck.
Sure.
Yeah, Willow was hard.
Jeff is gonna fucking do the spot.
Yeah,
brother.
I want it to be. I want it to be all those guys going out together, but I want it to be their alternate like not their famous gimmicks. Like I would want Big Money Matt. I'd want Willow. I'd want fucking whatever Edge was in WCW. Like I'd literally want him to just be
Sexton
called
Hardcastle.
No, it's Sexton Hardcastle.
Oh, is that's even better?
That's the only
Yeah,
thing. That's the
fucking-
only thing that has me hung up on the Edge trying to like tie into Christian thing is because
He owns the
I
rights.
feel
He
like
owns
he
Edge.
wants. Oh, he owns Edge.
Hmm If you
Okay,
go, if you go
that
look,
makes it even more plausible.
if you go look at his
it
movies,
does make it more plausible.
it says Adam Edge Copeland.
Yeah.
If he owns Edge, then that means he can probably go to AEW with the name Edge. So then, yeah, all right, I mean, even if he goes as Adam Copeland, as long as he doesn't go as Sexton Hardcastle, I feel like he can still
No,
get
I
his
feel
shit
like he
off.
has to go as Sexton Hardcastle. I feel like there's no.
Sexton
If I'm Tony
Hardcastle
Khan,
is
if I'm
fucking
Tony
crazy.
Khan, this whole thing is off the table if he does not debut.
If
as
he does not go, if he does not make the
Sexton.
jump as Sexton Hardcastle, it
Yeah,
means
you're not
nothing
going to
to me,
England, bro. I'm not having you at Wimbledon if you're not doing this.
Well, first off,
If
they're not
you're-
wrestling at Wimbledon. They're wrestling at Wembley. Wimbledon is a tennis court.
Wembley, that one, whatever.
Wimbledon
I'm
is a,
American.
what, a tennis court?
Yeah, it's a tennis court. But
Is
great
that also in
segue.
London?
Yes, it is. Great segue because you're talking about going to London. My next topic is good old Glock Wheeler.
Did that
Glock
happen in
Wheeler. No, it did not happen in Orlando.
Good old Glock Wielder, aka Strap Wielder, aka Cash Wheeler.
He got into a road rage incident on August 8th and then turned himself in 10 days later.
Oh, it was 10 days? Oh, that's kind of crazy. They might. What I will say is
that's why
my
they came to his house and then he gave himself up. From what I've been reading.
My first thought is I got 2,500. That was my first thought was nah, he got that 25. That 25 is in his fucking glove box right now. He got 2,500. Easy.
I mean, he literally got a slap on the wrist. Like almost like a Henry Ruggs slap on the wrist, no pun intended.
Kinda.
But
Which for not a major celebrity either. And
well, no,
he's,
they gave him some time, I thought.
I believe
should've got
he's
more.
from
He should've got
North
more.
Kakalaki.
But they give him like 3 or 5.
they gave him only 10 years.
Henry Ruggs got 10.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that's a slap on the wrist. 10 is
No, yeah,
Oh.
that's
For driving 150 and hitting a parked car while drunk and not trying to save the person from a burning car, sitting on the curb. I think that's not enough.
No, it's not enough, but I don't think it's
No, I wouldn't say that's a slap on the wrist though. I wouldn't say that. I'm not
But-
saying that's enough.
I guess
but
comparatively speaking, yeah.
It's
For
a
what he
slap on the
did,
wrist.
it's
For what he
definitely
did. It's a slap on the wrist. Yeah.
Yeah, for what he did. Because
For what he
Kurt
did
Angle
is a
used to do
slap
that
on the
every
wrist,
day driving
but
Impact.
comparing those two incidents, the 10
they're
years
both
to
saying- they're bo-
2,500.
Well, I'm saying like the crime like scale, like road
Yeah,
rage
yeah,
incidents
yeah, that makes
here,
sense.
and then Henry Ruggs is up here. They're still the same thing. It was a slap on the wrist here and still a slap on the wrist here. I'm not saying that like they're both
Sure.
a slap on the wrist. That's what I'm saying.
I'll take it.
But
The realest slap on the wrist ever is the lead singer Molly Crew killed somebody and did not do any time.
Vince Neil did kill somebody and did not do anything.
Holy shit.
Great movie,
I
by
don't
the way.
know.
Great Netflix movie.
I didn't like it. No.
That was great.
Is that on
Yeah.
Netflix?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Motley
the
Crue
Dirt.
movie.
The book's better. Sorry, I'm that guy.
You're that
but
guy.
I
He didn't
thought-
even read the book, actually. Man.
I did. It's great.
First off, Stephen P. New that was representing fucking Cash Wheeler just got him off scot free, and like Cash Wheeler didn't even have to say anything. He just stood there and was like,
So
The
what
fucking
did he
judge was
do?
like,
He,
nice to
he,
see you.
Pistol whip somebody? What did he do?
There was no.
Allegedly.
It was. I don't know if it was alleged. Like I guess.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What did he allegedly do?
I guess there was a road rage incident, and they came to the same place or something like that, and then a gun was shown. I don't know if a gun was used.
Oh, okay.
Gun was shown.
He
So
brandished,
like it was
he brandished the
aggressively
firearm,
pointed at somebody.
Yes,
Yeah.
he brandished the
brandished it.
firearm.
from what I understand. He
No, it was
brandished
not.
the firearm, and I'm not sure if he may or may not have assaulted him. Apparently, no, assault was in the charge, so he had
Did he
to,
do
like,
the Henry Hill? I want him to do the Henry Hill walk across the street and like,
It's
don't
just the
you
front of
ever fucking, and he makes her hide the gun. I want to
Yeah.
like.
That's when I knew I was in on it.
yeah.
They did say something about seizing his other firearms, so I would assume he probably did put hands on the guy.
Oh, then maybe he did. But like, Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, too. Here's the big kicker: is it was a felony, right? So he did get arrested for a
I mean,
felony.
he's using a firearm. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, but they didn't take his passport.
They didn't. They just said that. They said they were gonna take his weapons if he.
Yeah, but
opened
is
them.
that? Do you think that that's? I love how like we're getting into true crime here because my other passion other than wrestling is true crime. Do you
'Cause
think that that's?
I thought, well, once you get a felony, you're not supposed to.
This is Wrestle Ramble, fans. Wrestle Ramble.
We should do that.
I thought you're supposed to turn over your passport when you're as a felony because of the
Well, it's
fact.
well, that's what I was going to say. Is like, do you think that that's negligence on the part of the Florida cops to just not do it?
Yes.
Because that's
100%.
definitely. I feel like that
The
would
Florida
should be
cops have
a
been
general
known
standard
to
thing
not
across
do
the
well.
board, especially for people like that can just fucking get the fuck out real quick. Like nobody's gonna tell them to not.
I mean,
get on.
Can you?
Well,
what's
Florida
going-
cops have been known to not do well. Just in
What
general.
would be going
That's
through the
why I'm
mind?
asking that. Yeah,
Let's-
yeah.
Let's just take a step back. Look, what's going through the mind of TK a week before, or 4 days before you leave to go to Wembley, right, for your biggest pay-per-view.
I thought he was playing tennis at Wimbledon.
Arguably ever.
right? It's like it's probably their biggest show in their company's
Arguably
history.
ever.
Right. Okay. And one of your biggest tag matches that tag team wrestling fans are looking forward
Not
to.
even one of your biggest tag match.
Yeah. Okay. In the company's history, it's the third, it's the trilogy. And one of the participants gets arrested. What happens? You have a multi-million-dollar production on the other side of the world. Okay, that's gonna be in front of 90,000 people, and you potentially might have fucked up the tag match. Like, what do you do? Like, I understand card
You
subject to
replace them
change.
with you replace them with Swerve Strickland. No, I'm playing.
No, the
Shout
only
out
people
Swerve.
you can replace them with, and you're gonna laugh when I tell you this, is Pride and Powerful.
That would be hard though because they haven't been seen as a team. That would be dope. That would be
It's-
hard.
Well, I read that I just before we got on the air to record that next weekend Pride and Powerful were supposed to be in either New York or Ohio, and they had to cancel due to circumstances with AEW.
Well, they were supposed to. Well, I know there was a Eddie Kingston issue with House of Glory.
Right.
I'm not sure if that was a dates thing or.
Well, they're looking for three people for the Stadium Stampede match. Right? So Eddie Kingston's one of the mystery partners. Could the other two be Pride and Powerful and
No.
LAX?
No.
Why
Because
not?
Eddie Kingston's already listed. It'll
Okay,
be
but-
Eddie, the Best Friends, and then the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, and it's against Blackpool Combat Club, isn't it?
It was only 3.
Yeah, but there's three
And they
mystery
need-
partners. There's 3 mystery partners that are missing from the match.
And
Two
do
of them
you
are gonna be
think
Pride and
they would
Powerful.
Go against Eddie though.
100%. Then that's when you get Eddie to turn on the Best Friends and get LAX.
Do we think they turn Eddie like
No,
now?
Homicide, and Pride and Powerful are the 3 mystery partners.
Homicide and that would get Homicide on AEW TV.
But
And
then
that would bring Proud and Powerful back. Proud
And then that's when you
Powerful
get
back.
Eddie. You get Eddie to turn on Best Friends and join Pride and Powerful.
what if
I don't know. I think they like Eddie as a face though.
You're gonna tell me, bro? You're gonna tell me if Pride and Powerful comes back and comes back at Wembley, they're not gonna be the face team?
No,
You're crazy, bro. You are crazy.
I don't think so. I don't
place
think.
will-
I think
I-
it depends on the circumstance. I
We
think
will
it
put a
depends
bet
on
on
a
this.
lot of other shit.
The problem with Noah is he wants to do the live show at 8 o'clock at night. The pay-per-view starts at 1.
Listen, I'm gonna be there whenever pay-per-view starts. I don't have shit to do on a Sunday. I'm
He-
gonna wake
Joe
up.
invited
I'm
him.
gonna
Joe
wash my
invited him,
ass.
and he goes, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll be there like 7:30." And Joe goes, "Okay, well, the pay-per-view will be over because it starts at 1."
That's not how that conversation went. All right, let's start there. That's not how that conversation went. He was just like, yeah, nah. He was like, no, we're gonna watch All In. He was like, we're gonna watch All In at fucking Chris Thatcher's house. I was like, word, I'm in there. And then he was like, all right, well, just keep in mind it starts at like 1 p.m. And I was like, all right, well, that's better because I have to work on Mondays. So that works even better.
So, but
Um,
I will say, I tell you this: they get the face pop if they come back at
if
Wednesday,
they come back, they're gonna get a face pop.
and I think they'll be the
That's for
face team.
sure.
They'll be the
But it
face
just
team
kind of depends on how they play it out. But we kind of have to see how they play it out, honestly.
because there's
Like
no
the whole
face.
stadium, like the whole stadium stampede idea is like something that I'm kind of trying to see how they play it out because I'm kind of confused. Are they going to do it in Jacksonville still, even though that they're in London? Or are they going to do it in Wembley before any fans get there type thing? And like, play it out there type of thing. I'm really confused.
Yeah, that's a good call. I didn't think about that. I honestly didn't think.
I want them to do it while everybody's there. I want complete chaos. You know?
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
not
I
gonna
do
do
too, but I don't think because
I don't think they're gonna do that.
here's
know,
my thing.
but that's what I want. That's what
Have
I
you ever
want.
seen
That's what I want.
have you ever seen a British indie wrestling show or a London indie?
Well, through the times that I did have a New Japan World, I would watch a bunch of Rev Pro shit with
Okay, Rev Pro. The fans there are out of their fucking minds.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Okay, can you imagine them these guys going into the
It's
crowd?
like soccer hooligans getting involved in the fucking.
Pretty much.
But
That's
what
pretty
I
much
want.
what's gonna happen.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I want that to happen, and I want to pay for that to be on a TV in front of me, live and right there at 1
Live
p.m.
in living color.
Just
That's
having a
pretty
cup of
much
coffee,
what
just
is gonna
people
happen.
beat the shit out of each other.
But and also too, like getting back to what I was saying is like how ballsy of AEW to literally book 2 pay-per-views back to back.
On
How
2
ballsy
back-to-back
is that?
weekends. No,
On
that's
2
kind of ballsy. I'm not gonna front.
How much
because you have no
cocaine?
card. You have no card for the next one.
No,
Do
you
what?
don't. Not until this one plays out.
Here's my thing, and I've talked about this, and I've got him to understand my thought process on AEW. I know you guys haven't watched recently or anything like that, but Adam Cole and MJF are in a tag match
I have seen that.
on the pre-show. Here
And
is
the tag match on the pre-show, and then having the main event match on the fucking main show.
ready. Ready for this? I think as soon as the bell drops, you have Adam Cole turn around and he just beats the shit out of MJF. I mean, bloodies him up, beats the shit out of him. And then the Kingdom comes out. He joins the Kingdom as the captain of the Kingdom again. And then for the main event, you have the stoic MJF come out as he's bandaged up, dried blood on his face. He wins. CM Punk beats Samoa Joe. The next week at All In, you have MJF versus CM Punk to unify the belts.
That's not a bad idea.
No, I like it. I like that'll also. I wish they would do shit like that on pre-show.
But who wins?
Just to teach people to watch the pre-shows.
You
Like
have
make
to have
people
CM
But
wanna
who
Punk
watch-
win.
wins?
You have to have CM Punk win. He has to get his
Have
Summer
to
of
have
Punk.
CM Punk.
Because remember, it
The
was the
Summer
CM
of
Punk.
George.
The Summer of George, the Summer of Punk last year got derailed at this time. So you have to let him have the title. But you have him be heel CM this time.
But then who beats him?
MJF
you have
beats
to
him
play
in
this-
a rematch. MJF
I
beats
was
him in
gonna
a
say, I feel like
rematch.
you have to play this whole thing out.
MJF beats him in a rematch. At whatever the next pay-per-view is, Full Gear or whatever it is.
That's the one I went to where he won the thing. It was a great ship.
And I think that's when you have another dog collar match. Because I think that was one of the greatest dog collar matches I've seen in a while.
Yeah, those are hard to really like get people to enjoy this.
And Joe, and quite frankly, I was very surprised at this. Joe agreed with
That it was the best one or one of the best ones.
no, about how AEW should write this, and he agrees.
Oh, got you.
He goes, definitely, Adam Cole should beat the shit out of MJF before the match even starts.
It's like not a. It shows psychologically, it's like we're not on TV anymore. This is fucking go time. Like, yeah. Because that Adam Cole's the heel, right? They're both
No,
heel.
they're both faces right now.
Well, that's only because they did the tag thing, right? Though
Right.
that
But
put
I
them
think if
over.
you do technically this would be a double turn if he goes heel
That's fucking crazy.
and MJF goes face. And
Swerve on top of swerve on top of swerve. Next swerve, the whole fucking. Which one was it that pistol whipped somebody? Cash Wheeler.
Cash Wheeler. Yep.
Cash Wheeler never actually did that. That was all fucking faked by Tony Khan.
That was
Tony
never
Khan
actually
was
real.
the man that pressed
Tony
charges.
Khan paid the
And-
judge off to actually create an actual false report.
Tony Khan fucking pressed the charges himself. That's the biggest swerve of them all.
If
And
Cash
then it's
Wheeler,
Tony,
if he doesn't come
Khan
out-
versus Cash Wheeler.
if he doesn't come out and do any kind of finger gun motion, I swear to God, I'm quitting watching wrestling. If he ever comes out, doesn't come out and just or at Dax, if Dax does it in the ring, like hits a clothesline and just goes like that, oh, I'll die a happy man. I'll stop watching wrestling for the rest of my life.
Or brass knucks shaped like a pistol, and he just
Like a cell
He
phone
just
case.
starts
A
fucking
cell
whipping
phone
a
case.
guy with a fucking press.
That's he Luthez presses somebody instead of punching him, he just fucking pistol whips him like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Like Joe is missing a great conversation. Like great conversation. Like
Joe, enjoy it. We should, yeah.
oh,
We should do
he's-
true crime wrestling more often. You know, we should
True
do more.
crime wrestling.
yeah, Jimmy Snooker never really killed that woman.
We should, that was also Tony
Holy
Khan.
shit.
Yeah, that was Tony Khan.
Holy shit.
Nah, Jimmy killed that bitch. Fucking,
Owen Hart's not dead.
oh,
He's just hanging out,
That was-
hanging around.
what if Owen Hart's not dead? The payoff to that was people are gonna really get pissed off at this conversation now. But Owen Hart's not dead. The payoff for that was supposed to be when Vince blew himself up in the limo, but then that got fucking pushed back too. So it's
And
all
then
gonna
the
come
comeback-
and all out.
When Vince comes back, it was actually going to be Owen Hart. As Vince.
Yeah, I was kidding.
No,
Owen,
come full
Owen Hart
circle.
planted the bomb.
come full circle. Owen Hart ran over Stone Cold. I did it for the nugget.
Dude, you know what? Wouldn't that have been like? I had a conversation with my brother about that fucking Hell in the Cell match because I watched it recently. Not that recently, but like it was a lot. But like I was like, it's a lot better. It flowed a lot better than a clusterfuck you thought it was gonna be. And he was like, "Well, yeah, it's like 5 of the best wrestlers of all time and Rikishi. So like, of course it's gonna be good."
And
I was
Rikishi.
like-
That's fucking crazy.
I was like, "Yeah, dude, what went on there? Like they had nobody else." Or like
Wasn't
they
that
were trying to give
Armageddon?
him a
That was
push.
Armageddon down here, right?
The Armageddon, what was that? Armageddon 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was down here at the National Car Rental Center.
Yeah. Because
That's fucked up when you say 5 of the best wrestlers and Rikishi.
I fucking love Rikishi, but like I feel like
He
that
landed in
whole-
hay. He landed in fucking
Yeah.
hay.
his whole career he landed in hay, you know. Or who lands in shit? Somebody lands in shit at some point, right?
Oh,
Damn,
I
who was
forgot.
Stacy
that?
Keebler. Stacy Keebler was in the pig pen.
Yes, that. And then didn't Vince McMahon have shit on him?
No, that was when DX was making fun of him in the Spirit
And they
Squad,
dropped the
and they dropped the shit on him from the porta potty. That was
Well,
probably the funniest thing.
There
When,
wasn't there a shit gimmick with Big Show and Eddie Guerrero? though?
Mm,
Yes, because he fed him the fucking burrito. Eddie fed Big Show the burrito, and he fucking couldn't fucking compete or some shit like that because he was shitting, and he couldn't stop shitting.
I miss Eddie.
this is
Goddamn.
pro wrestling for you.
I fucking miss Eddie. That's amazing.
You had two
Again,
men
this
wrestle
is
in a cage.
Ramble with the fucking Ramble roasted episode.
It's
of-
perfect. This is how people talk about wrestling. This is what you want.
This is how it should be.
This is how we talk about wrestling when we're fucking not recording anyway.
Exactly. Like this.
Pretty much.
You know, this is how normal wrestling talk should be, and not just a negative Nancy on the other corner.
We should
Just,
do. I really want to do a true crime episode on when who gets stabbed. Sid Vicious stabs Arn or Arn stabs Sid.
I don't know. There's some scissors involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got stabbed with
Stabbing.
scissors. Yeah, I forget.
I think
I
it's
always
Sid.
forget
Sid gets
who
stabbed with
who.
scissors. Arn stabs Sid with scissors.
Oh, okay.
It was in the trap. He stabbed him in the trap.
I want to do an episode on that. Let's go into that.
like that's just wild to me in the 80s and 90s that just happened. Like
People were getting stabbed and
People
nobody
getting
was reporting it.
stabbed. Dude, Harley Race used to have like a throwaway pistol in his fucking Halliburton, right? Like he used to like
A throwaway pistol is crazy.
like that's how they used to roll back then. Like, dude, Al Snow said in an interview one time, he was like, well, all those guys back then, he was like, basically, if they weren't wrestlers, like they would have been criminals.
right.
Like,
Speaking of Al Snow, how about the news that dropped either yesterday or
Oh, the
today? That
Netflix-
the Netflix documentary on Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Luke Curtis, if whoever's listening to us, if you don't fucking like, if you want, you are gonna like Luke Curtis. If you don't fucking watch Luke Curtis, you fucking should watch Luke Curtis because he's a great fucking worker and crisp as fuck. Yeah, go
And
watch
there,
it.
there might be a viewing of or sighting of one of our formerly CCW wrestlers, Will Austin.
Oh yeah, he's in there. He's in there a couple times, and then his girl is wrestling for them. They actually, aside from just Luke Curtis being good, Al Snow puts on a pretty good set of shows. Like decent, very decent, very good.
I know I can. I think I can pull it up on my Fire Stick. I think I can pull up Ohio Valley Wrestling because they only televise locally. But I think I can pick up a stream.
Oh, probably yeah. That would be a cool ass trip if we were gonna do one for the podcast to go see an OVW show. That'd be fucking lit.
Like a TV taping. It was like
Yeah, dude.
one
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah. And like not tell anybody, and it's Will Austin comes out. We're just sitting there, just have signs that say "Go
Like,
Will,
signs for-
Go Will."
That'd be
It's
fucking-
get him to pop in the ring because he'll see us and let's go Will.
He'll do all his dives and all he does.
Yeah.
Will Austin. He just worked James Creed. I'm gonna watch that.
He did it. He won the battle royal, I think.
That's what it was. I thought at first when I saw the post about it that it was a 1-on-1, which I was stoked about, but
It was the
battle.
40-man, 90-minute battle royal or something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that him and James Creed had like, since they went front to back, that they had like a good like 10 minutes at the end to really do shit. But
And that's a great match. I mean, honestly, both wrestlers. That would be a really. I would love
that's,
to be.
that's
in the
why
crowd
I
for
thought
that.
it was a 1-on-1. Yeah.
I would love to be in the because that's two different styles. Like you would think James Creed would be the flipping, flopping, style, and he's not. He's more of like the power,
Right.
Like,
So it grounds him, but
grappler,
and then it makes the high flying shit make sense, and it makes it risky. It's all good shit. Yeah.
yeah. No, you just missed it. We were talking about mega squared or squared mega superstars.
What is it? Square Circle Megastar or something?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
they just had their
With-
battle
with
royal,
Will
and,
Austin.
yeah, he won. And James Creed and Will Austin were the last two of the battle royal. And
I don't know why I thought in my head I thought that was an OVW, but I do remember because I know what's the name.
James Creed would
Blake
be
Banks
great.
is also involved with that. Blake Banks is apparently in some kind of faction with Will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did see their promos for that. So I'm not sure if that was in,
But I was
OVW
telling
or if that was in.
I was telling Miami Mike that I would love to be in the crowd to see James Creed and Will Austin go 1-on-1. I think it's two dynamic styles, like two differing styles. You would think James Creed would be the flippy floppy, dive. He's not. He's more of the ground and pound, keep him down to the ground. And Will Austin's the flying, superstar, the king of flight, so to speak.
I don't
I
know.
think-
I feel like out of the two, I would assume that that will kind of be the dynamic.
It's good too. And then you make the grounded guy, he's got to take risk in the match because he feels there's going to get a point in the match where he feels like he has to do it. And then you get all those like,
Yeah.
it's very fish out of water. It's very good.
But that's what makes great matches, though, especially on the indies.
Yeah.
Hell's great because if my problem, it's not my problem. It's every problem with the indies is they don't have time to tell a story, and that's why I think you have to get the matches in, have the matches tell a story, because people
Oh, for
lose
sure.
interest. I think the problem with not a knock on CCW and Bash at the I think the problem is fans that go to Bash at the Beer want action. They don't want storyline
Go
that drags out month to month to month to month. Yes, they
That's true.
it's good
I
to
would say
follow
that.
it. It's good to follow it, but they want the action right then and there. Like,
Yeah, because they get the characters, so they don't want like extra, like they don't want character development. But I feel like in general, it's just hard. It's it's like a weird thing in people's minds. It's like this aesthetic thing. So like if you're not really seeing it on TV, you don't want a story. You don't want the story to go with you when you leave. You want to come back and go, oh, that was cool. They do that shit every time. I just want to see that shit. So it's like you're
Yeah.
not looking for a story, so you're not wanting it, and it makes it hard to like keep. I think just in general, like again, like Thrasher said, it's not a knock on CCW. I think every company goes through it. I think even TV companies go through it now because of YouTube and all the quick content shit. It's hard to tell a story in general. So imagine you're going to an indie show maybe once a month. Do you fucking like on it? Like I smoke so much weed, I would never. I'd be like, I don't.
yeah, exactly. Especially you're at a brewery where they're serving alcohol. You really think the rowdy fans want to sit there and listen to,
Yeah,
a said champion?
which
or,
I do honestly think, unless they've changed it, but I do think we did when I was there, we did a good job of like keeping it at that particular show, keeping it quick. Nashville was a little bit more promo heavy because they love to fucking hoot and holler and shit, and like, and then right when I was moving, they started all the Homestead ones, which I assume are similar. But
I
yeah,
haven't been to Homestead, so I can't tell you that. But
Homestead, from what I understand,
it's Homestead.
my experience is very similar. Like, I mean, and we were having a conversation about this.
Shout
Just
out to my
about just
hometown, by the way. I would be remiss if I didn't shout out the home of the stead and my
home of
people
the
in
state.
Homestead.
Just like the I guess compartmentalization is the best way to put it. Just as like people who only go to brewery shows and only go to homestead shows and only go to the breakout shows and things like that.
That's the thing. You also have the fans. It's just
Sometimes there's some fans who go to everything versus you have the fans who only go to the homestead shows versus the fans who only go to the brewery shows, who only go to the breakout shows and shit like that. Like,
well, that's what I feel
very
about brewery shows. It's like
compartmentalized.
you're also attracting like a good amount of people that like
aren't
the guy
fans.
that just likes to have a beer at the bar and go, oh, that guy just did something crazy, cool, and then he goes back to like drinking. Like it's more like brew's different because you have to go to the back. I don't know how Homestead is set up, but like the brew is different because you actually have to want to go in there. Like you can't see that shit from the bar. So like it's a little different, but I feel like a lot of the brewery shows that indie people do and stuff is like half diehards and a lot more just like, isn't this some crazy shit to have a beer to, basically.
Yeah,
I
and
think with Homestead, it's a little bit different because from what I understand, there's like one cover to like get in, period. And
Okay.
then like whatever you pay for your beers is what you pay for your beers. So like, and I mean, hopefully nobody from Nashville watches this. But no, from what I understand, there's like a solid cover charge because there's wrestling there type of thing. And then, whatever you go to the bar and pay for your beer is like just whatever you pay for your drink. So, I mean, I don't know if it's like that at the brewery. I feel like in Hialeah, it's not. It's a little bit different because like there's no cover charge. You go in, like if you go into the front of the house and you don't give a fuck about the wrestling, you go into the front of the house and you
I see
spend
what you're
money at
saying.
the front of the
Yeah.
house type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Versus
Oh,
in
I get.
Homestead,
I was trying to figure out. Yeah, so they charge you just to be in the motherfucker, whether you want to watch the show or not. Basically,
I think so. In
They probably
Homestead, I
closed the
think it's
brewery
very
off to a
much.
private party. Like
They
you
probably
pay to
do.
get in.
Yeah, like in
I feel
Homestead,
like-
I'm pretty sure if you walk in, from what I understand, based on like the shows that I've worked there, and just like walking into the quote unquote front door or whatever, like there's people who walk in who will be trying to walk in there like, oh, I'm just here for like, I'm just here for the brewery or whatever, and they're like, okay, well, there's wrestling tonight, so it costs this much, type of thing.
Yeah.
So like there's an extra added maybe like $5 or $10 or whatever because there's wrestling tonight,
The
rather
wrestling,
than
the wrestling premium charge.
Yeah, rather than just like, oh, them paying whatever X amount of dollars to just be in the brewery type thing,
I
and
mean,
then paying for the drinks.
to be fair, I guess there could be worse things going on at the bar. Like, I feel like I'd be angrier if I got to a bar that I'd never been to before, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's karaoke night." I'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm not going in."
Well, that's the thing.
So,
I
like, if I
have
got to
been
a
there.
bar that I didn't know, and they'd be like, "Oh, you pay $5 more, there's wrestling," then I'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, then let's go."
It's naked paper mache night.
Then
Well, that's the
I'm in on
thing.
that.
I feel like
I'm
I've been there. I've been like getting off work and coming in some nights. And I mean, I don't know if we got to blur this part, but I
Gotta
feel like
have
I've been there and getting in some nights, and I've seen like people who are like, "No, I'm just coming for like the brewery."
Oh, there's probably people
And
that
like,
contest for sure.
yeah, no, there's been people who have been very contentious as far as like they're like, "No, I'm just coming for the brewery. I don't give a fuck about the wrestling." They're like, "Okay, well, the wrestling is a part of the brewery tonight." So like you have to pay X amount of dollars
But
versus what
that
you
brewery is all
usually
like
pay.
one room, right?
Yeah.
In Homestead, yes, it's one
Yeah,
big room.
I think that's part of the problem too, because I don't know if that's what
Yeah,
happened
like
that whatever one that
as you know, in at Unbranded, there's two separate rooms type of
right,
thing.
yeah.
Versus in Homestead, it's just one big ass fucking room.
So you're gonna watch the wrestling, so yeah.
Right. So even if you're not there for the wrestling, you're gonna see the wrestling.
You're forced to watch
Type
it,
of thing.
basically. Yeah.
Pretty
As
much.
as everyone should be, I feel
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forced to
so
watch
like
indie wrestling.
for sure. I think that
that
one
type of thing.
is. Have you ever worked the Kissimmee show? Is the bar like that there too?
I have not worked at this show yet.
I've been to that bar before, and it's like that. It's
Okay.
just an open area, and then there's like an L bar, and like
Yeah, but like everything's in the one.
yeah, it's in the one. I don't know. I don't know if it's like cover charge to get in, but I've been to that bar. It's in Old Town.
Yeah. Lou loves Old Town. That's his stomping grounds.
Old Town's a great place.
Lot-
It
Out
was
of
actually,
Kokomo Town, ain't it?
huh?
Huh?
No, they don't allow Coke in Old Town. Old Town back in the day when I lived in
Pepsi,
Orlando.
Pepsi families over there, right?
Yeah.
They only allow Pepsi.
Back when I lived in Orlando, Old Town used to be the hot spot. Like it used to be an old town. Now you go in there, it's just fucking like 3D arcades and shit like that.
Yeah, it's very gimmicky now. Yeah.
like
There's
belongs
an
to,
old
like
town
Pigeon
in my
Forge.
old neighborhood in Chicago that is very old school and Irish pubby and shit like that. It's great. You should check it out. That's where that's where Zany's is in Chicago.
Oh, Zany's Comedy Club.
Yeah. I saw that guy that got canceled because he said he was he said he was a victim of 9/11, but he wasn't. What's that
Steve
guy?
Ranazizi.
Yeah. I saw that.
Steve Ranazizi.
Because he's from Chicago.
I don't know who that guy is.
He
You
was
ever
from
watched
the
The
league. The league, one of the funniest shows on TV. Oh,
I used to love The League. Yeah, it was a great show.
Shiva
didn't
blast
watch
all
that.
over you.
Taco's the best one.
Taco and what was the brother's name? Oh fuck, Rafi.
Rafi. I hated Rafi though. I didn't mind the Seth Rogen Rafi thing, but Rafi got it. Rafi. It has its moments, small doses with Rafi.
You want a pocket dog? I got a pocket dog for you.
it's just always too much. Like that was the thing. Like sometimes it called for it, but sometimes it was too much.
That's my shit bucket and my sink.
See, that was fun because like they went over to his apartment and he like shits on the It's like he has nothing in his apartment. It's just a bucket and he uses it forever. It's just fucking great.
He uses my sink and my stove and my shit bucket.
No, if you haven't seen The League, I much recommend that.
Yes, I definitely like that. It's about fantasy football. It's a friends that they play fantasy football and they do like different like crazy things. to each
Also,
other.
fun fact: that same neighborhood I live. Well, I guess they're two different neighborhoods, but they're within like a 5-minute walk of each other. So I lived in Old Town,
Mhm.
and then south of Old Town, like maybe 6 or 5 blocks, was that Gibson's that they show the exterior
Yeah,
shot of when they're in the bar. That Gibson's does not look like that on the inside. That is not Gibson's, but which always used to crack me up because Gibson's like a 5-star restaurant. But like, but yeah, I used to live by that, so I used to see it all the time.
Awesome. All right, well, it's that time. Daddy's gonna
Is
go
that
night night.
I feel like this was a great episode. I wish Joe.
We call it 3 dads in a batch.
3 dads and a what?
About that time to
I thought he was talking about ice cream.
Back
What?
to this.
What?
What? Yeah,
So
that made
what-
no sense.
Boom, boom, boom.
You like that?
So really quickly, first of all, is 205 a shoot weight? Because you're a thick ass 205.
Now I'm waking him up. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Don't worry that you're being recorded. Oh. Oh.
Oh,
That's a good question, actually.
this is 3 dads in a batch.